Hello, my beautiful friends. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is well. So today's actually the day after the wedding. I ran out of time. I did not give myself enough time to get ready. So I did not film the intro to this video. So I am doing it now, but I truly hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, it's just a tutorial and what I did to get ready for this wedding. Yeah, as a guest. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you find this video helpful, and I hope that you do like how my makeup turned out and what I did choose to wear to the wedding. Okay, without further ado, let's just get started. All right, so we're going to get started right away. I do not want to be late for this wedding, and I've already cut myself really short as usual. So I'm not going to be super chatty through this video. This is more like a tutorial on, how to get ready as being a guest to a wedding. So let's just get started. Yeah, I'm just going to start with my eyes. And the only thing I'm going to be doing really different is probably apply more makeup than you're used to seeing me in. And also just a few little techniques that I have learned along the way that I'm going to try to apply. I'm not going to try to do anything drastic because I do not want to, have to start all over and really miss the wedding. So I'm super excited. So I am going to start just by priming my eyes. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit what wedding I'm going to. It's actually my niece's wedding, and it's on Daryl's side. So it's Daryl's sister's daughter, and it's her, last child to get married. So it's just super exciting. Now they live in a different state, but they brought the wedding here to Michigan. And actually both places are not too far from here. So I'm super excited that we don't have to drive, a long ways. So that's always nice. But the wedding is probably 7 minutes from my house. And then the reception is probably more like 15 or 20 minutes away. Okay, so what I am going to do is just pull my hair back. Now, what I've done with my hair is just kind of curl it because I am going to be wearing it up. I have no plan what I'm doing, so I'm a little nervous about that part, but I just did leave like a little roller up here, and I hope like this clip doesn't, show those marks, but I am getting nervous about that. So I'm going to look a little crazy here for a minute, but I'm thinking maybe a side type situation, or if things go really wrong, it's going to go up in just one of my little fake ponies. So the palette I decided to use is actually this one here by Tarte, and this one is called the Glamour. There's a nice mirror in here, and these are the shades. I was thinking more like a plum look because I'm wearing, the all black dress, and I just wanted to add a little bit of color. But what I think I'm going to start with is just this neutral shade here, and this is called Deco, and I'm just going to place that in the crease and just kind of create or give my eyelid a little bit of color. And then I'm just going to move it up towards my brow. So this is just working basically as a slight base for the rest of the shades I am going to choose. So the dress I found was, well, actually I purchased I think it was 3 dresses, and actually it was 4, and one of them just didn't work for me, so I didn't even show that in a TikTok, but I actually put on all 3 dresses and asked, everybody to let me know which one they liked on me best. And the dress that I'm going to be wearing is because actually it was Amanda's favorite and Daryl's, which I was kind of surprised at with Daryl. But and then on TikTok, that one did win overall. All the people that voted, and there was quite a lot of people that voted, which was really nice. And honestly, I was really nervous to do that because you're almost, I don't know, when you post anything about clothes, people are so critical, and how I'm not feeling the best about my figure right now. So I just, put and bought and purchased more, dresses that I thought would be flattering on the figure that I have now and probably will have for quite some time, because my New Year's resolution did not turn out very well for me. So anyway, they were actually, all of the comments were very kind. They basically just voted. And a lot of them were just, they kind of told me why they chose the dress that they did. There was maybe I don't know how many people responded, but it was like 300, and only like 3 or 4 people, you know, said something kind of negative, but it really wasn't even that bad. So I was waiting for a major backlash. Okay, so what I think I'm going to go into now is this shade here, just to deepen things up a little bit. And I'm just going to tap my brush in it because I don't know about this shade here, but it might work. Oh gosh, I'm really hoping this works out. I should have done like a practice run on what I was going to do here. So again, I'm just placing that in my crease, but I am going to build up this outer edge and move that more towards the eyebrow and kind of like flick this out to the side. And like I said, I am actually going to be applying way more makeup than I am used to, even myself, because, you know, you want it to be seen and you want it to last throughout the night. Oh, I can't stand when I get ready and there's all these hairs just flying in my brush and getting caught in my brush. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. I'm just going to hurry up and do the other eye and I'll come back and we're going to move on to the next shade. Okay, so I took that one shade way higher on this outer edge than I normally do, just so you can really see that shade. Now I'm just going to go into this really light shade, and that is called Charm, and I'm just going to put that up towards my brow bone and just really diffuse those two shades together. Now what I'm going to go into, and this is the shade that really caught my eye in this palette, and it's called Industrial. So it's like that little plum shade that I am really looking for. So I am just going to clean up this brush here, and it's more like just a dome brush, just smaller. And the brushes I'm using are the Angie Hot and Flashy, and I just love these for hooded eyes. And what I'm going to do is really deepen up this outer edge or outer corner. As you can see, it's that beautiful plum, and that's exactly what I had in my head. So I am just going to really kind of keep this on the outer portion of my eye and just lightly sweep it into this part of the inner corner, just so it blends a little nicer and doesn't have all these sharp, harsh edges. So again, I'm just going to place this on the outer corner of my eye. And what I'm doing is just placing a little bit at a time and applying it and seeing if I have to add more. I prefer doing it that way. That's why I do, like, you know, not so pigmented shadows, because I would rather be able to build up to the shade I want than having to blend out for hours. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of this NYX glitter glue. I watched Jen Phelps do this, and I did it one time, and it really makes a difference if you want your shimmers to pop. So I am going to place a generous amount all the way to my inner corner to this outer edge here. And what glitter glue really just does is create like a nice tacky base. So it's almost like you could honestly use, if you don't have glitter glue, your eye primer. It will do a similar effect. And what I think I'm going to use on my outer edge here is this Ornate, and it's a beautiful plum. Now this is more like a satin finish, but that is okay. And I'm just going to deepen up this outer edge of the eye and just slightly sweep it in the middle, because I'm going to create like a more ombre effect. And then I do have another shimmer I want to put over it that I forgot I had, and it's so beautiful. So that is what that looks like. Isn't that beautiful? It is such a beautiful shimmer and shade. And again, I'm just going in very slow and working my way up. And then this is the shimmer I am talking about. Is by Moira. I actually wore this to my son's wedding. I just love these shadows. It's called Lucent Cream Shadow. And this is in the shade 02 Infinity. So that is what that looks like. Now this one I do want a little bit more precision. So I'm going to actually use this little flat brush that I get from the crayon case. I love this brush. This is great if you do want to carve out, you know, make a cut crease. This is a great brush to do that. So I'm going to apply a little bit on my brush and, you know, start right here in this inner corner Move this up towards right the edge of my inner corner and kind of sweep that into that beautiful plum shimmer. Okay, so now I am going to use a little bit of tape because I'm just going to create a very small wing. I don't want nothing, nothing too crazy, because if my eyes start watering, I do not want a situation. So I'm just going to place a little bit of this tape on the outer edge, and I, aim it up towards my temple, and I'm placing it right at the bottom of my lashes here. And what I'm going to use as my liner is this one here from House Labs. It's in black, and I think it's actually an eyeshadow. And I'm going to use this brush here that I get on Amazon. This is great for creating a wing. Yeah, these are wonderful, smudging out your shadows. So they are very multi-use. I'm just going to create a very small wing here. And I'm just brushing that right along the edge of this tape. And because I have hooded eyes, I do have to make this outer edge just a little bit thicker than, most people might have to do. But it does make a difference, because otherwise my liner gets lost in my hood. And I'm finding that if you, use tape and you have hooded eyes, it makes everything so much easier. Okay, let's see how this turned out. Moment of truth. And that looks pretty even. Okay, I've already curled my lashes, and for my mascara, I'm going to use this Fan Fest, this new one by Benefit. This is really good mascara. Now, I'm just going to apply a light layer again because I am wearing falsies, and I'm just wearing half falsies, so I really need to just focus more on the inner corner here. And I'm just going to place a little bit on this outer edge here, or outer corner of my eye, just to really fan those out. And also just to create a little bit of, it does hold a curl really good, this mascara. So I am wanting to keep my curl, especially on this outer portion of my lashes. Okay, I should have thought that through a little bit more. I should have put on my lash glue on my lashes while I was doing my mascara. So what I'm using here are these little half lashes that I get on Amazon. And then the glue I'm using is this Kiss Strip Lash adhesive. And this has a little bit of aloe in it. So when you apply it to your lash, it looks like that it's white. But once it starts drying down, it will turn like a bluish color. So as you can see, it is turning like a blue shade or color here. So it's almost ready to apply to my lashes. And now they should be ready to go. So the trick is going around my natural lashes. I always have the hardest time there. But half lashes are so much easier to use. So that's why I chose these. And I'm just pressing that fake lash against my real lash, just so it really grips on. And I think these are all on. So look at the difference from using just a half lash to my natural lashes. So I'm going to apply this other one and we're going to move on. Okay, so we are now ready for the complexion. The eyes are all finished pretty much, so super happy that went pretty smooth. Okay, so I am going to take a little blotting paper, and I like doing that at my T-zone because I have super dry skin everywhere else, but my T-zone is super oily, so I just applied my normal skincare, and then I do have that e.l.f. SPF over it because that stuff is amazing, and it's the glow one, so it does give me a little bit of glow. It works great as a primer. I love it. So I am going to first spray my face with setting spray. So this is a little different than I normally do. And that's going to work really good as a base for my makeup and to make it last all day. So I'm going to do a lot of layers actually with setting spray. And I just used my Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. But I do have another one I'm going to be going back and forth with because I do love them both. Okay, so now for my complexion, what I'm going to wear, why I chose this is because I love how it looks on my dry skin. It's super long lasting. You You can build up on it. And it's the Maybelline Super Stay. If you guys have been watching my channel for a little bit lately, this is all I've been using pretty much. So I am just going to shake it up a little bit, and I got mine in the shade 220. So I am just going to probably place about 2 pumps. Now this is a little deep for me, I mean just slightly, because I did apply a little bit of self tanner. So I'm just going to place a little bit of white pigment in that just to lighten it up, like I said, just slightly. Okay, so I am not going to be shy with this today, and I even might add another layer. I have this nice pimple that came out of nowhere, and I may even apply even more. So like I said, I do want this to be pretty full coverage, but not look cakey. So we're going to work in very small layers here. So the brush I'm going to use to apply this is my BK Beauty, and this is the 101. This is such a wonderful brush. It can create, you know, a little bit more fuller coverage than a sponge when you use the super dense part here. And then, you know, parts where you don't want, you know, a lot of coverage, these little fine bristles up here, I just drag down my neck, and that just kind of shears it out. And you're probably noticing that I'm avoiding my nose, and that is on purpose. And also what I love about this brush is it goes around my eyebrow really well, so a lot of makeup doesn't get in my hairline and my eyebrow. So it's just like the perfect little brush. Okay, so I am going to now place just a little bit of foundation on my sponge, only because there is a method to my madness. So I did place a little bit of that white pigment again. And now that it has sat on my skin for just a minute, I am going to apply like a little layer only in areas that I think might need it. So that's usually, you know, right here at the cheeks. And don't worry about that white pigment. It will blend in really well. And plus I do want to lighten up this area here and try to cover that blemish right there. Okay, so that is looking really good. So the reason why I left my nose without any makeup is because I did this, you know, a little method here a long time ago. I did a video on it, and it really works. Now, ideally, I probably should have applied my pore filler first, but you know me, I'm always forgetting a step. But I am going, you know, to apply just a little bit because I do have very large pores on my nose. And what I'm using is my Maybelline Master Blur Stick here. And this one actually has a shade, and I kind of did that on purpose, or wanted to use this on purpose, only because the translucent one can look a little, you know, if you don't blend it in really good, you can kind of almost see it. It looks just slightly chalky. So I just wanted something that wasn't going to really create a problem. And that's why I did choose the one that did have a shade to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is spray my sponge with a little bit of a hairspray here. And I just have my little Tresemme extra hold that I use on my hair. And I'm going to place a little bit on the sponge. Actually, I'm going to be kind of generous about it. And place that on my nose. And anywhere else I kind of want a little bit of grip. And I'm really making sure I get on the side of my nose here because I don't want it coming off there. Okay, and then I just let that dry down for a second. And anything extra that's on my sponge, I'm just going to go over my nose because you don't want a lot of foundation over that. You just want a very light layer. And with that hairspray, it really just latches onto your nose. Anything that's left on the sponge, I mean, I hardly have anything on the sponge, and it's really covering it beautifully. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit for a little bit. And now what I'm going to go into right now is my Lottie London. And this is like a eye brightener. So I'm going to place that under my eyes and just let that sit here for a moment because this is super creamy. And I find like if I let that just sit on my skin and then blend it in, it really works so well with my concealers. So as you can see how that really does brighten. So I've been loving this stuff. As you can see, I'm like going through this bottle really quickly. Okay, for my bronzer, again, I'm going to be pretty heavy-handed here. I'm going to be using the Milani, and this is the Contour Liquid Conceal and Perfect, but honestly, I forgot. Before I go into that, I'm going to use this. It's Kiko, and this is a sculpting, this is more of a true contour stick. As you can see, it's almost like a gray cast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really thin out this area here, of course, under my chin and around my jawline. So I'm only going to be placing that around those areas. So what I've been doing is kind of, I know where my cheekbone is right here, and I'm going to go basically just put like a dot right there. And you can almost like pucker your lips so you can really feel that. And then under here, you can almost make your double chin and really just draw a line where you want that. And I'm going to place this really close up against my ear, and I will be dragging that along. So that's what I'm going to do with my contour, and the brush I'm going to be using for that is this one here, just my e.l.f. one, because I really want that to stay focused of where I place that. So I'm just really just tapping that in, just staying right in this area. So as you can see how that kind of just thinned that area out ever so slightly. And of course blend this out here. And I'm just going to go back and forth where my double chin is. And here I'm just going to sweep this down and then drag it all along the jawline. And as you can see, that shadow that really created, and I almost even go behind my ear just so I know that I'm really carving that whole area out. Okay, so now we can get into the bronzing, but as you can tell, there's just a slight difference, but really, I can really tell a difference under here. So yeah, it just creates a little bit of shadow. So now we're gonna go into the Milani, and this is the what I'm gonna be using for my bronzer. And again, I'm gonna be pretty generous because I do want, you know, more carved out look. Again, this makeup, I want it to last all day. So I'm going to place this everywhere that I normally would. And this shade is like so perfect. The only flaw with this product here is it's so messy. And they really don't give you a lot of product, I mean, at all. So that is the flaw. And look, I mean, as I'm saying, that is super messy, and I feel like a lot is getting wasted. Okay, and then to blend this all in, I'm just going to use my bronzer brush here. And I might be adding more, I'm not sure, but let's just start here. And now I'm just going to keep this really just focused on this outer portion of my face. I'm not going to really drag it towards my cheeks. I'm just focusing like right here at my bone and up towards like the top of my ear here. And of course, I blend in the sides of my nose here and under my lip. So I think that looks pretty good. I may just add a little bit more on the forehead. Okay, so I think that looks really good and blended. Now I'm just going to take my sponge, just really, you know, calm down any harsh lines that might be happening. Just go back down the center of my nose, just in case any of that bronzing got in an area that I did not want it to get. So I just squeeze my sponge there and just go down the center of my nose. Okay, let's go back into these under eyes. And I'm just going to, like I said, really just move this all across my lower lid here, or my under eye, because my under eyes are so dry, and this is just perfect. If you have dry under eyes, you really need to try this product out. It is super creamy, and as you can see, it really does brighten. I mean, like I said in many videos, I could go out the door right now without any concealer and probably get away with it. But for concealer, I am going to be using this one here, and this is by Glossier, and I got mine in the shade, it looks like G10, and this is like their stretch concealer. So it's in a pot, and what I do is just take my Angie Hot and Flashy brush here, and just tap a little bit on my brush, and then I am going to drag this up slightly up towards my hair and just kind of press it in with my finger just to really melt that into the skin. Now when I use that Lottie London, I really do not need a lot of concealer, so I just focus it really pretty much here and drag it down, you know, along my nose. And whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to place in this little smile line here. And then with my finger, I just kind of stretch that all along my lower lid here, under eye. There's no lids there. So, but that is what it's looking like. Isn't that just very smoothing? So again, I'm just going to do this on the other side and we'll move on. And the reason why I do place that just real quick in my smile line here is anything that's brighter is going to kind of bring things forward. So that's what I'm trying to do, you know, all the places I don't want to be kind of forward, I use darker shades, you know, to sink that in. And anything bright is just, like I said, going to make things seem, you know, that they are more pushed out. So that's why I do bring it just slightly into those smile lines. Okay, so for blush, I think what I'm going to use here is my Juvia's Place. Now, this is a risk because this is so pigmented. I got to be very careful. So I got mine in the shade, and this is called Rosy Posy. So what I'm going to do with this actually is just place that on the back of my hand. That way, you know, I have a little bit more control over it. And I'm just going to place a little bit on this brush here. I mean, I have just a little bit. And we're going to start with that much and just work our way up. So actually I can grab just a little bit more. And because what happens is this stuff sneaks up on you very quick. But I do want my blush to be bold because that is the first thing, you know, normally that just fades away. So I'm going to place another blush over this. But like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of layers. So I'm basically keeping that, you know, most of the pigment in the back and just kind of going up towards my cheeks just slightly. Again, just tap that in. And then what I'm going to do is spray everything with a setting spray at this point. So actually before I do that, I want to spray on my nose one more time with hairspray and just tap a little bit out. And then tap right over that. And again, really making sure I get these the inner part of the side of my nose really good. Because that's where everything does fall off. And at your tip. So that is locked in place. I mean, big time. Okay, so to set this layer, I am going to use my Fab Lukes. This is amazing setting spray. I absolutely love it. As you can see, this is like my third bottle. I love it. And as you can see, I am pretty generous, and I'm even going to get on my neck because I did place makeup there, and I just doused my face. So now I'm just going to fan this off and let it dry on, and we're going to go with the powder products. Okay, so that is pretty set. I like to go in when it's slightly, I mean just slightly, still damp with my powder products because then it really sticks to it. Okay, so let's go into to set the face, and what I'm going to do is use my Laura Geller, and this is actually powdered foundation, and one is more like an illuminating one and the other one is more of a matte. So what I do is just take a nice fluffy brush here, and I'm going to mix the two, and I'm actually going to be using a lot more of the light today only because I do want a beautiful glow as well. You know, I don't want to look, you know, sweaty or greasy, but I do want a glow. I mean, if you want your makeup to last all day, this is really the makeup that I find You know, even on the hottest humid day, my makeup lasts so good using this foundation and these baked foundations by Laura Geller. They are absolutely fabulous. So I am just going to place a lot over my centered T-zone there. And that is it of my setting that part. Now I do want to set under the eyes and just a little bit more, brighten that up through the T-zone. So I'm going to be using my Moira, and this is like their translucent powder, but there's like 3 shades in here. There's like a pink, like a banana color, and a blue. But when you mix them all together, it looks like it's almost purple. I am going to set under these eyes for sure, but just very little powder. And focusing more like just here in the inner corner. And the reason why I also like setting under my eyes is because I do find no matter what, you know, if you don't put like a little bit of powder, your mascara, anything that's really, you know, creamy on your eyes can really transfer onto there. But if there's powder, I feel like it doesn't happen as much or often. So that's why I do like using powder. I know a lot of mature ladies do not, but that's why I do as of now. Maybe one day I won't. But again, I'm just placing a little bit of powder on my nose, and we are done setting the face, that part. And then for blush, I do want a little bit more blush. So what I'm going to be using is the Laura Geller Baked Blush in Brighten. And this is in Tropical Hues. So I think I'm just going to have to, nope, I did bring down my blush brush. So I'm super happy about that. Now this does have a beautiful glow. So when I use this, I typically don't have to use a highlighter because there's almost like, it's not like there's highlighter in it, but it's like those Milani baked blushes, you know, that beautiful glow that those give. This is exactly what that does. So the Milanis are a great dupe if you, you know, like that kind of look for the Laura Geller. So, okay, look at how we are moving along, and I'm really cutting it close, you guys. Okay, so I'm actually very happy how this makeup is looking. It's exactly kind of what I had in my head. Okay, so that is it of that part. I'm just going to hurry up and place some shadow under my eyes. And I actually think I am going to use mascara on my lower lashes, which I normally don't do. But what I'm going to use for that is my Man Eater. And this is waterproof, just in case I do shed some tears for my niece. I won't have makeup all over my plate, all over the place. So I'm just going to hurry up and do my under eyes, and I'll come back and we'll just finish off with the lips. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I'm going to spray my face one more time, and I'm going to use my Fab Lukes. Again, I'm going to douse it to where it looks even wet. And then I'm ready to go do my hair. Okay, so I gotta get moving. Daryl just screamed down, you gotta get going. So I hope my hair doesn't, isn't a problem. I'm hoping it's gonna be super fast. So what I'm gonna line my lips with is this here is Hard Candy in First Move. And what I love about this, it's retractable, it's super long. It's a retractable pencil, it's super long lasting. And on the other side, there is like a little brush here. So how nice is that? You don't have to bring an extra lip brush with you. It's already built in this liner, and they go on nice and creamy, and these are so long lasting. I could honestly probably apply this all over my lip and it will last for a very long time. And then for my lipstick, I'm going to be using e.l.f.'s O Face, and this is in the shade Dirty Talk. So I think this will go really well with the look. I didn't want something that's going to overpower, my lips overpower my eyes. So that's why I'm using more of like a pink nude. That is super pretty and looks really well with this look. But I am going to go over this, and I'm just going to place a little bit of gloss. So I have my Hard Candy, and this is in the shade Berry Divine. But look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? I love this. And it's not going to really show a shade. I'm just going to place a little bit on the back of my hand just so I don't get all that lipstick in with my gloss. And just place a little bit right here in the center. Okay, so this is the final look with all the makeup. I'm going to hurry up and do my hair. I definitely will be back. I might be back even after the wedding to see how this makeup really held up. All right, you guys, I'm super excited. I hope I have a really good time. I'm sure I will, and I'll see you later. Okay, you guys, I'm back from the wedding. It was such a beautiful and lovely wedding. The reception was so nice. The food was excellent. We danced the night away. You know, I had a few cocktails, and it is now 12:15 p.m. and my makeup held up so well as I knew it would. That's why I chose the makeup and the products that I did. I knew that these products would just really hold up all night. So I'm going to come up really close so you guys can see what the makeup looks like. I am noticing like there is a little creasing on my eyelids, which is kind of normal with my hooded eyes. But again, I was really dancing the night away. I did tear up a few times. So all in all, I am super happy. It really held up through the T-zone. My nose, there's not like a lot of oils that came through. That's where I'm always so impressed when I use like the hairspray method. It really does work. If you want your makeup to last all night, use that method. I'm not shocked whatsoever, but I'm super happy. And yes, this makeup and all the things I did, the techniques and all the products I used really held up. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, if you please hit that like button, I would truly appreciate it. It really does help me out. I can't wait to see you again. I love you so much. And until next time.